Hello everybody, so I just made a 10-minute long video about pot, but it's really stupid so I'm not going to upload it. Because the point of me making videos was to answer these questions that Ryan gave me. So, anyway, alright, something in my eye. Alright, so, he gave me 6 questions and I'm going to answer them. Alright. Name 3 inspirations and how they inspired me recently. I don't know, because I know you kind of asked that question a lot and I don't think I've ever really answered it. But I don't know, because I don't really get that inspired by many things. It's like, I don't know, it's just like, I mean, of course there are always going to be certain people who inspire me no matter what, like, I mean, lots of people. Like, if I started naming them, I know I'm going to leave some out, so to name the obvious ones, like Lady Gaga and people like that. So, so there's always going to be people who I'm inspired by, but recently there hasn't been, like, any new things or people that has inspired me. I'm trying to think. I think the absolute, like, newest one, which isn't really that new, but it's the newest, just to show you how, see, I'm not really, like, that inspired by people, because I know a lot of people now. Like, when I was first realizing that there are other things in the world than, you know, things were told and given and stuff, and things, you know what I'm saying? Like, once I started realizing the world, which was about 7th grade, and I learned about awesome people like, I don't even know, like, well, I mean, like I said, I can name some, but there's so many, and they're also in different categories, like musicians, like Lady Gaga, the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, you know, those things are really inspiring to me. And then there's also people like George Carlin and, you know, just awesome people like that. And all that, and it's like I already know those people, and yeah, they inspire me, but that's old, you know. They inspire me, and that's old, you know what I'm saying? As for, like, recently, the most recent was Henry Rollins, which was about a couple months ago. I knew about him, like, about 2 years ago, right, in, like, freshman year, because when I first started hanging out with Nate, Nate's biggest inspiration was Henry Rollins, and I didn't really know who he was at the time, and I also didn't really, like, he had me watch a couple of, or read a couple of things that he wrote, and listen to a couple of his songs, but I didn't really get into him that much because I didn't understand how awesome he is. So, okay, but anyway, so Henry Rollins, as of recently, Henry Rollins, who I absolutely fucking love. He's, like, the coolest person ever. I guess also pretty recently is Elizabeth Salander, in the book with The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I think that her character is really, really kick-ass. She's really awesome, and a lot of her traits kind of remind me of myself. And when I find people who I relate to like that, it makes me feel a little bit more confident with myself. And here's a little thing, Ryan, because I know Ryan is probably the only one watching this. Chris might watch it, like, months later. So hey, Chris. But here's a little something, Ryan, is, like, we were talking about that app, GIF, whatever it's called, the ones with the GIFs. And you were saying that it makes you feel a little bit better about yourself because everyone on it is so stupid. A healthier version of that is finding people who you relate with, so they can help you feel more confident. Because it's very comforting to find someone who you're alike. And like Kurt Cobain for me is a huge person who inspires me and I absolutely love. And that's mainly because we have so much in common. Like, and the more that happens to me, the more I realize like how much we have in common. Because it's like, before there were only a couple of things, and then it's like the more that happens to me, it's like the same kind of stuff that's been happening to him, or that happened to him in his childhood, or things like that. So it seems like every single day I'm just having more and more that happens to me where I can relate to him and I understand him like even better. So he's probably like number one of people who I relate to, and it helps me. It makes me feel more confident and more or less self-conscious about myself, because I realize, okay, well, someone else is like me, and it helps me to kind of reflect in a way. But yeah. So Henry Rollins, Elizabeth Salander, third person of most recently. Trying to look around my room, because usually when things inspire me, I'm really obsessed with something. I have it in my room somewhere. I haven't really done much to my room lately, though, so I don't really know. I'm trying to think of like movies I've watched recently, or something. I don't know. I guess the third person is, well, if I name one of you, I'm going to have to name both of you, which, Chris and Ryan, you guys both are really inspiring to me. For obvious reasons that if I went into, I've already wasted 7 minutes on the first question. And if I went on about it, then it's just going to take all day, so. Okay, so yeah, so Henry Rollins, Elizabeth Salander, and Chris and Ryan are the most recent people who have inspired me. My number one problem with religion, I laughed when I read this question out loud. Well, I went, ha! But, because it's just like, it's one of those questions where it's like, I mean, I could go on for days. I feel like I talk a lot, which is like completely opposite of how I am in real life, so it's quite funny. But, number one problem with religion, that's just like, that it's so controlling in a couple of different ways. In the ways of it's controlling towards people who are in it, and it's controlling to our society. And it, like, for an example, a lot of America is religious, being mostly Christians or Catholic or things like that. So, and those people, most of them, the ones who are actually true to the Bible, because I don't know how you can, well, I shouldn't really say that, so ignore what I just said. That I'm not going to go into that. But most Christians and Catholics don't believe in gay marriage, so therefore it's not legal in most of the states. So that's how it controls our society, is because most people are of that religion. And even though you're not supposed to mix church and state, we do anyway, because I guess we only follow the Constitution when it's most convenient to us. And it's controlling to the people who are in it, because they're so incredibly brainwashed they can't think for themselves or see the other side of things. And I'm running out of time. But whenever I have like a problem with something, I always try and look like outside of it. And I look at how the other side feels, and it helps me to reflect and to understand it a little bit more and make a decision of whatever that situation might be. The next questions will be in the next video. I'll be right back.